Since premiering 20 years ago, Curb Your Enthusiasm has been one of the most celebrated comedies on TV, and a very decent part of that has been Jeff Garlin's hilarious portrayal of Larry David's manager and best friend, Jeff Green, and he joins us today. I'm Charlie Bright of Gold Derby, and Jeff, the first thing I want to ask you is about the frequency of the show, because I think probably Curb Your Enthusiasm has the weirdest frequency rates of when it's on and then when it's off, and how long we have to wait for new seasons. How difficult is it to go back to filming a show after a hiatus of, say, several years?
Easy. Completely easy. There's nothing. We're all grateful. We're all great friends, and we're very close. And no, the reason the show is so infrequent, it's all based on Larry David's creative whimsy. If he's got an idea, we do it. If it's not something that he wants to do, I mean, name another show where the showrunner decides to do the show every season based on whether or not he has a good idea.
Yeah, I can't think of one.
Ever in the history of television.
So I'm curious, you've known Larry for a long time, and I'm curious,
Yes.
How far back does your relationship go with Larry?
I first met him when we were in New York, both doing stand-up in the 80s. That's when I met him.
And, one of the interesting things is, you play a character also named Jeff, and I think a lot of people will sometimes assume that, the character that you're playing is like a copy and paste of yourself. And I'm curious, I'm sure it's not, but what is the biggest difference between you and Jeff Green besides profession?
Well, I have integrity, and I'm thoughtful, and I'm kind, and I don't do the things. I mean, he's, a guy who's in Hollywood, and he only wants his clients to be happy, money to be coming in, and to get laid and avoid his wife.
I think for some people that's the American dream.
No, I would prefer to want to be around a wife, not avoid.
So, I mean, you've played a part in so many of the unfortunate situations that Larry has found himself in over the years. You've been on your own unfortunate situations also. What's your personal favorite that's happened over the course of the show's run that you just look back at it and you go, wow, that was something else?
Well, my favorite episode is one called Wandering Bear, where Larry and I are obsessed with Girls Gone Wild, and and Cheryl's vagina hurts, and Wandering Bear helps her. I love that episode. It's a self-contained episode, so I dig that. And I'm moving around a lot. That's what I do when I'm outside. And then I also love the episode where Larry wore ladies' underwear. He was protecting me because I didn't want Susie found red underwear in my glove compartment of my car, and Larry said that he wore, I said, "You're Larry David, and you happen to like wearing ladies' underwear." That's one of my favorite scenes I've ever filmed.
So another thing that I think is so wonderful about your character is the chemistry, and sometimes I want to say chemical reaction between you and Susie Essman, who plays your wife on the show. I think for so many people, I feel like that's a main attraction for the show. And but I heard it was difficult for Susie to go balls to the wall when she was, in terms of insulting you when the show first started shooting. And I was just wondering if you could tell us about that.
Well, we were shooting a scene, I remember, where I forgot, it was a child that we were taking care of. I stole a bunch of stuff from us, and she has to let loose for the first time at me and call me names. And she's an old friend of mine, so she was very, like, I don't know that I can do that. And Larry David and Larry Charles took her in the other room, and they said, "You can." And I said, "Go nuts. Come on. Let me have it." And, that's some of my best acting, because I have to look like it bothers me. And it doesn't bother me at all. and I have to be sad or angry, and I don't care. I'm probably more worried about what's at lunch today, when we're filming.
I think it's so interesting. You have this wonderful laugh, and I'm curious. I'm sure you've ruined takes by laughing while on camera.
No,
You haven't?
never.
Oh,
Larry
okay.
David ruins takes. He bursts out laughing. No, I only laughed once. Speaking of the only time I laughed, like where I couldn't stay, was when Larry dropped his pants and he was wearing ladies' underwear. You're never prepared for Larry David in ladies' underwear. And I ran into the other room. I was screaming, laughing. Uh, and then Larry and I are really proud of the fact that when something funny happens, we laugh. Like when you watch most comedies, people are saying funny things and no one's reacting. On our show, if you say something funny to another character, you laugh. So I get to laugh with him, and we actually laugh all day long. We take our job very seriously. We work hard, but we also laugh all day.
And there are so many interesting interactions that you've had with all the different characters. But with a show like this, you don't get to have interactions with all the characters that you wish you could. And I'm wondering if there was a character that you wish Jeff had more interaction with, so you could interact and improvise with that person.
Well, one of my favorite all-time actors is Ted Danson. I love him. He's actually my favorite actor I've ever worked with. No offense to all the other actors. Ted Danson. So I get plenty of stuff with Ted, but it's never enough as far as I'm concerned, ever. I love Ted Danson. And in my head, as I'm acting with him, I am thinking to myself, that's Ted Danson.
Which is how I feel whenever he does anything remotely filthy on the show. I'm like, that's Ted Danson!
Well, by the way, he gets uncomfortable with that. It's funny. The other actor I love, but I've never worked with, and he's an acquaintance, and he's my hero, is Jeff Bridges. Wish I could work with him. Maybe one day. We have the same agent.
Hey, I could see him on Curb Your Enthusiasm.
I know. That's why I'm going to look at all the outlines and see if there's anything for him.
So, I mean, you have all these. You don't just have Curb Your Enthusiasm. You have all these other projects. You have the Goldbergs, which is still going on. It's still going strong. And you also had a stand-up special on Netflix, it was on Netflix, right?
Yeah. Our Man in Chicago, Netflix. Yeah, I'm very proud of it because I got lucky. It turned out better than I even could have possibly ever expected. I waited years to do. My last special was, I think, 2007. So I waited over 10 years to do another special, and I couldn't believe those things. It's luck a lot in terms of what the chemistry of the audience is when you're filming, and are you in a good groove? And I couldn't be happier with it. I'm really proud of it.
Is it a lot to juggle? I mean, doing all these projects at once, or does everything sort of like fit?
No, it's a lot to juggle, and I couldn't tell you how I do it. I had my first photo show at the Leica Gallery. I'm a photographer. I had my stand-up special. I'm filming Curb. I'm filming the Goldbergs. I'm doing this all at the same time. And the truth is, I don't think too much about it. Otherwise, I may be in a ball on the ground weeping.
I know the feeling. I know the feeling.
Yeah. Hey, a good laying on the ground weeping is great, but not because you have too much work. That just is a bit much. I'm blessed to be able to do the stuff that I do.
And I'm curious, and with the Goldbergs, I'm curious as to what's your favorite thing about working on that show, because that show really is. It's a show with such a wonderful heart to it.
Well, I love that. I love. I love the heart. I love that families. If I'm not mistaken, it's the #1 show on TV that families watch together. and I'm very proud of it. But my favorite thing, I love the cast, I love the crew, but Wendy McClendon Covey. And I got to be honest, I'm in awe of her. Like when I'm, it's not like a Ted Danson thing where I grew up watching her, though I did watch her on Reno 911 and loved her. But when I'm in a scene with her, I really do get lost. And I have forgotten to say, when I'm off camera, to say my lines because I got so caught up in what she was doing. I think she's amazing.
Well, it's interesting you brought up Reno 911 because, on Curb, you're improvising a lot. And that was the same thing with Reno 911. And I'm curious, do you both bring that? Of course, you honor what's on the page, but when you do additional takes, do you bring that experience into it and maybe add some?
Only if I'm inspired. I don't do it just to do it. And she also, if she's inspired. It's not like Curb because literally if I come up with an idea, like let's say in between takes, in that format, which is not my favorite kind of format, I don't mind. I mean, scripted, great, but there's a tightness in network TV. For example, if I think of an idea, I got to tell Wendy, she wants to know. I have to tell the director, I have to tell the producers, and I have to tell the dialogue person. And so a lot of times I choose not even to improvise because I'm like, it's a lot just to do it, Whereas Curb, literally every take I do different and it's all improvised.
That's incredible. I mean, so we're an award site. And, it would be so awesome if, you were able to get into supporting actor for a comedy for Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Be a thrill. I mean, I'd be honored. It's never happened.
What I'm curious about is, if you get nominated, you have to submit an episode from the past season. Which episode do you think you would submit from this past season of Curb Your Enthusiasm?
I don't know. I don't think that way. I literally would ask Larry. I go, which one do you think I should do? Which should I submit? Because I don't think that way. I don't think, my mind doesn't work that way. Can I be really honest with you? I have trouble right now even remembering a lot of the season. Like I do it, like people come up to me all the time and they'll say a line from the show and I have no idea what they're talking about because I'm very much about the doing of it. I see the show before it airs because I'm a producer, but it's about the doing, the work. Doing the work is what brings me joy. Watching it or reliving it or picking out an episode, not something that I even think about. So there's your answer.
Hey, we appreciate the honesty.
Yeah.
Jeff, we thank you so much for joining us. We wish you all the best this Emmy season. And to all of our viewers, please like this video. Make sure you subscribe to our channel to get our latest content. And don't forget to go to goldderby.com and use the Gold Derby app to make your predictions and see if you can outsmart the top prognosticators in Hollywood. Thanks so much.
Are there prognosticators in Hollywood?
Yes, there are.
Are you one of the top ones?
Well, I'm not in Hollywood, so I'm one of them outside of it.
I'm in the Hollywood Hills right now talking to you. You're not outside of it. You're part of it, even with your Washington National cap. Hey, it was an honor being on with you. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.